Archivist Zilthax moved his 6 fingers quickly across the glowing control panel. The massive database of the Galactic Archive surrounded him with soft blue light. He had worked here for over 300 years, organizing and protecting all knowledge in the known universe. Today was different. Today he found something wrong. It started with a message, just a few words caught between stars. The words said, "They told you we never existed." They were wrong. Zilthax checked the records again. The message used a language that should not exist anymore. According to the archive, the beings who made this language died 2,000 years ago. They were called humans. The archive entry for humans was small. It said they came from a planet called Earth in the Sol system. It said they destroyed themselves when they first tried to travel in space. Their planet became too toxic to live. Nothing else was written about them. Zilthax felt uneasy. The archive was never this empty about any species. Every other dead race had full records, their art, their science, their history, but humans had almost nothing. "This cannot be right," he said to the empty room. He searched deeper. In old trade records, he found mentions of humans. In ancient military reports, he saw notes about human ships. These did not match the official story. His hands shook as he sent a message to his old friend, Administrator Kell. Did the Council ever remove records about species number 4721, the humans? Zilthax waited. The reply came fast, but not from Kell. It came from Security Command. "Archivist Zilthax, come to Interrogation Chamber 7 now. Your access is removed." Zilthax stared at the message. In 300 years, he had never been questioned. He had never seen anyone questioned. The archive was a place of knowledge, not secrets. He heard heavy footsteps coming down the long hall. Security forces were coming for him. He had seconds to decide. He could wait and explain. He could say he was just curious. But deep inside, he knew. The Council was hiding something big about the humans, something they did not want anyone to know. Zilthax copied the strange message and his search results onto a small crystal. He slipped it into his pocket just as the security team burst through the door. "Archivist Zilthax, you will come with us," said the lead officer. His weapon was ready. "Of course," Zilthax said calmly. "May I ask what this is about?" "Unauthorized access to sealed records," the officer said. "The High Council will question you personally." The High Council never dealt with archivists. They ruled 10,000 worlds across the galaxy. They did not care about database searches. Unless... Zilthax followed the officers into the hall. His mind raced. The humans must be important. Maybe they were not gone. Maybe the Council did something to them. As they walked, Zilthax noticed they were not going to the main government building. They were heading to the lower levels, where few people ever went. "This is not the way to the Council," Zilthax said. The lead officer did not look back. Change of plans, special interrogation first. Zilthax knew what that meant. No one returned from special interrogation. Whatever he had found, they would not let him tell anyone about it. They passed through a quiet area of the archive. No other workers were here. No witnesses. Zilthax made his choice. As they turned a corner, he pressed his emergency beacon. All archivists had one. It would lock down nearby doors to protect valuable records in case of fire or attack. Heavy metal doors slammed down. The officers were caught by surprise. Zilthax pushed the last officer hard and ran the other way. Alarms sounded throughout the archive. Zilthax ran faster than he had in 200 years. He knew every hidden path, every service tunnel. The security forces did not. He reached the transport bay where small ships carried records between worlds. A tiny cargo vessel was being loaded by robots, no pilot. Perfect. Zilthax slipped inside the ship and closed the door. His hands flew over the controls. He had never flown before, but all archivists knew how ships worked. They had to record everything about everything. The ship hummed to life. Outside, he heard shouting. They had found him. Zilthax did not think. He hit the launch button. The ship shot forward out of the bay into open space. Behind him, the great archive grew smaller. Centauri Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Council, became just another light in space. Now he needed to go somewhere to learn the truth. The message had come from the Sol system, where humans had lived. Where they had supposedly died, that is where he would go. If humans were really gone, he would find proof and clear his name. If they were not gone, well, he needed to know why the Council had lied for 2,000 years. Zilthax set course for Sol. It was far in a quiet part of the galaxy that most ships avoided. No one went to dead systems. As his ship jumped to faster-than-light travel, Zilthax looked at the message again. They told you we never existed. They were wrong. For the first time in his long life, Zilthax broke his archivist oath. He did not stay neutral. He hoped the message was true. He hoped the humans were out there. Because if the Council would erase one species from history, they might erase others. They might erase the truth itself. His ship disappeared into the darkness between stars, carrying one very scared, very determined archivist toward a system that was supposed to be dead. Behind him, 20 Council warships prepared to follow. The small moon called Europa circled the giant planet Jupiter. Under its ice shell, people lived in hidden bases. They had been there for a very long time. Greg Adams walked through the narrow halls of Base 7. The walls were made of metal and plastic. Lights on the ceiling gave off a soft glow. This had been home to 300 people for many years. Greg was the base leader. He was 50 years old with gray hair and strong hands. He had never seen Earth. His parents had never seen Earth. Earth was just a story now. "Sir, we picked up something strange," said Kate Jones. She worked at the listening post. Her job was to watch for any ships that came near their hiding place. Greg followed her to the control room. 5 people sat at screens watching the darkness of space. "What did you find?" Greg asked. Kate pointed to a screen. "A ship entered the Sol system 2 hours ago. It's not one of ours." Greg felt his heart beat faster. No outside ships had come here in his lifetime. The aliens thought this system was empty. They thought humans were all dead. "Where is it now?" he asked. "Moving toward Jupiter," Kate said. "It's small. Maybe a personal ship or a scout." Greg looked at the other workers. They all waited for him to decide what to do. "Is it a council ship?" he asked. Kate nodded. "Yes. The design matches their technology, but it's not a warship, and it's alone." Greg thought hard. Humans had been hiding from the Galactic Council for 2,000 years. The Council had tried to kill all humans long ago. They thought they had won. But some humans escaped to the moons and planets of the Sol system. They hid and waited, growing stronger. Now, after all this time, a council ship had come. "Should we destroy it?" asked Ben Lee, the defense chief. "We can't let them find us." Greg shook his head. "Not yet. If we shoot it down, they might send more ships to look for it. But if they find us..." Ben started. "I know," Greg said. "Let's try something else first. Get the small scout ship ready. I want to see this visitor up close before we decide." 30 minutes later, Greg sat in the tiny scout ship with Ben and Kate. Their ship was small and had no weapons, but it also couldn't be seen on most scanners. They flew out from under the ice of Europa and headed toward the alien ship. "It's changed course," Kate said. "It's heading straight for Europa now." Greg felt cold fear. Did they know? Had the Council found out about humans after all this time? "Get ready to call base," Greg told Ben. "If this goes bad, they need to start the evacuation plan." Their scout ship got closer to the alien vessel. It was sleek and silver with blue lights along its sides. It was not attacking, it was just moving slowly toward Europa. "They're sending out a signal," Kate said. It's in English." Greg stared at her. "That's impossible. How would they know our language?" Kate played the message. "Seeking anyone who can hear this, I am Archivist Zilthax. I come in peace. I know the truth about humans. The Council lied. I need to talk to you." The 3 humans looked at each other in shock. "It's a trap," Ben said. It has to be. Greg wasn't sure. After 2,000 years of hiding, why would the council try to trick them now? Why not just attack? Let's answer, Greg decided. But we don't tell the truth yet. He pressed the communication button. Unknown vessel, this is an automated defense beacon. There are no living beings in this system. Please state your purpose. The answer came quickly. I know humans survive. I found records in the archive. The council is chasing me. They will be here soon. Please, I need to warn you. Greg looked at his friends. This changed everything. If the council ships were coming, all the human bases needed to know. We're going to bring him in, Greg said, but be ready for anything. They sent instructions to the alien ship and guided it to a small airlock on the far side of the base. Only a few people knew what was happening. Most of the base continued. Normal work. Greg, Ben, and 10 guards waited as the airlock opened. They all had weapons ready. The alien that stepped through was tall and thin. It had light purple skin and 6 fingers on each hand. Its eyes were large and dark. It looked tired and afraid. I am Zilthax, the alien said in perfect English. Thank you for not shooting me down. How do you know our language? Greg asked, keeping his gun pointed at the visitor. I am an archivist. I study all knowledge, Zilthax said. The archive has records of all species, even ones that are supposed to be extinct. I learned your language from old files. Why are you here? Ben demanded. Zilthax held out a small crystal. To show you this and to warn you. The council knows something is wrong now. They know I found information about humans. They are coming. Greg took the crystal carefully. How many ships? At least 20 warships, Zilthax said. They left shortly after I escaped. They will be here in less than 2 days. The humans looked at each other with fear and determination. 2,000 years of hiding was about to end. We need to call the other bases, Greg said. We need to activate the defense network. You have defenses? Zilthax asked, surprised. Greg nodded. We've been preparing for this day for a very long time. We knew it might come. He turned to Kate. Send the emergency signal to all bases. Use code Phoenix. Kate ran to the communications room. Greg looked at the alien who had brought this warning. Now, Archivist Zilthax, tell us everything. What does the council know about us, and why did they try to kill us all those years ago? Outside, Jupiter turned slowly in space. Deep under the ice of its moons, humans prepared for war. The secret was out. The hiding was over. The galaxy was about to learn that humans never really died. The alarm sounded throughout all human bases in the Sol system. The code Phoenix meant only one thing. They had been found. After 2,000 years of hiding, humans would have to fight or run. On Mars Base 1, the largest human settlement, Susan, Clark called an emergency meeting. She was the leader of all human bases. At 65 years old, she had white hair and a face with many lines, but her eyes were sharp and her mind was quick. The council ships will reach Jupiter in less than 40 hours, she told the room of 20 base leaders. Some were there in person. Others appeared as holograms from distant bases on moons and asteroids. We always knew this day might come, she continued. Now we must decide. Do we run and hide deeper in space, or do we stand and fight? Greg Adams, joining by video from Europa, spoke first. The alien Zilthax says there are 20 council warships coming. That's more than we expected. Our defenses might not be enough. Can we trust this alien? Asked Diane Foster from the Mercury base. This could be a trick to make us reveal ourselves. I believe him, Greg said. He risked his life to warn us, and the crystal he brought contains archive records about the real reason the council tried to destroy us 2,000 years ago. Susan nodded. Show us. Greg held up the crystal. According to these records, the council didn't try to kill us because we were dangerous. They did it because we were learning too fast. Their prediction system said we would become more advanced than them in just 500 years. They were afraid of us. The room was quiet as everyone thought about this. We've been building in secret for 2,000 years, Susan said finally. Are we strong enough now to face them? John Rivera, the military leader, stood up. His dark uniform had simple silver stars on the collar. "We have 50 ships hidden in the asteroid belt. We have defense systems on every base, but 20 Council Lee. Warship, that will be a hard fight." "What about the Earth ships?" asked Greg. Everyone looked at Susan. The Earth ships were their biggest secret. Hidden under the dead surface of their home planet, protected by special shields, were 100 ships built with their most advanced technology. "They're ready," Susan said. "But once we use them, we show the Council everything we have. There's no going back to hiding." "I think we have to fight," said Greg. "The Council won't stop looking now, and we've waited long enough." Susan looked around the room. One by one, the base leaders nodded. "Then it's decided," she said. "Send the order. To wake the Earth ships. All bases go to full alert. We meet the Council at Jupiter." As the meeting ended, Susan asked Greg to stay connected. When they were alone, she asked, "How is our visitor doing?" "Zilthax is helping us understand the Council ship patterns," Greg replied. "He seems truly sorry about what his people did to us." "Good," Susan said. "Keep him safe. He may be our first real alien ally." After they finished talking, Susan walked to the window of her office. Outside was the red surface of Mars. Humans had lived here in secret for many generations. They built their base underground to hide from Council ships that might pass by. Trinity touched a button on her desk. A hidden panel in the wall opened. Behind it was an old picture in a simple frame. It showed Earth as it once was: blue oceans, green and brown land, white clouds, beautiful and alive. "It's time," she whispered to the picture. Far away from Mars, deep under the ruined surface of Earth, machines started to hum. Lights came on in dark tunnels. Giant doors began to open slowly. The Earth ships were special. Built over hundreds of years, they used technology humans had developed in secret, technology the Council didn't know about. Each ship was black and sleek, designed to be fast and strong. They had weapons that could break through Council shields. They had engines that could move faster than Council ships. One by one, the Earth ships rose from hidden bases under old ocean floors and inside empty mountain ranges. They flew up through the dead air of Earth. Soon 100 black ships formed a line above the planet where humans first lived. On the lead ship, Captain Erin Harris looked at her crew. Like all of them, she had trained for years for this moment. But none of them had ever fought a real battle against alien ships. "Captain, all ships report ready," said her first officer, Paul Wilson. Erin nodded. "Set course for Jupiter. Tell all ships to stay in stealth mode until we reach the outer moon area." The Earth fleet moved away from the dead planet. They flew past Venus with its thick yellow clouds. They passed the orbit of Mercury, hot from the nearby sun. In 12 hours, they would reach Jupiter. There they would meet the Council ships coming to finish what they started 2,000 years ago. On her ship console, Erin looked at the message sent from Mars base. "Operation Phoenix is active. The time for hiding is over." Erin felt both fear and relief. Humans had been waiting for this moment for 20 centuries. Waiting, building, preparing. Now they would finally show the galaxy they were still alive, and they were ready to fight for their right to exist. Back on Europa, Greg Adams and Zilthax watched the first signs of the Council fleet on their long-range scanners. The alien ships were still far away, but getting closer every minute. "I'm sorry my warning didn't come sooner," Zilthax said. "I didn't know they would send so many ships." Greg put his hand on the alien's shoulder. "You've given us a chance, that's all we can ask for." Together, they watched as the dots on the screen moved closer. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin. The Council fleet arrived at the edge of Jupiter's moon system. 20 large warships moved into position. Their weapons were ready. Their scanners searched for any sign of life. On the lead Council ship, Commander Drek stood tall. His green skin shone under the bright lights of the bridge. 4 arms crossed over his chest as he watched the screens. "Scan the moons," he ordered. "The archivist came here for a reason." His crew worked quickly. They were the best in the Council forces. They had never lost a battle. "Sir, we detect unusual energy readings from Europa," said one officer. "There might be something under the ice." Drek smiled. His sharp teeth showed. "I knew it. Prepare attack formation. We will—" "Sir," another officer called out. "New ships detected, coming from Earth direction." Drek turned to the main screen. He could not believe what he saw. 100 ships were moving toward his fleet. They were black and sleek. They were not like any ships he knew. "Impossible," he whispered. "Earth is dead. Has been for 2,000 years. The ships are using technology we don't recognize," said his science officer. "They are moving very fast." Drek felt fear for the first time in many years. "Send a message to High Command. Tell them we found humans, many humans, with advanced ships." Before his message could be sent, the human ships attacked. Captain Aaron Harris gave the order. "All ships, engage targets. Remember your training." The Earth fleet split into smaller groups. They moved with amazing speed. The black ships darted between the much larger Council warships. They fired weapons that cut through the alien shields. On her command chair, Aaron watched the battle unfold. Group 2 and 3, focus on the lead ship. Group 4, protect Europa base. The Council ships tried to fight back. They fired their big weapons, but the human ships were too fast. They moved in ways the Council had never seen before. On Europa base, Greg Adams, Kate Jones, and Zilthax watched the battle on their screens. "Your ships are amazing," Zilthax said. "The Council has never seen anything like them." Greg nodded. "For 2,000 years we developed our technology in secret. We had to be careful not to make any signals that could be detected. But we never stopped working, never stopped preparing." "Look," Kate pointed at the screen. "They're sending a message. To their home world." Greg turned to Zilthax. "Can they call for more ships?" The alien nodded. "Yes, they can have hundreds more ships here in days." Greg pressed his emergency communicator. "Captain Harris, we need to stop them from calling for help." In space, Aaron heard the message. She looked at the battle map. The Council's lead ship was trying to send a long-range communication. "All available ships target the lead Council vessel," she ordered. "We can't let them call for reinforcements." 5 human ships broke away from their fights. They flew toward the biggest Council warship. Their weapons fired together at the same spot on the alien ship. Commander Drek felt his ship shake. Alarms sounded everywhere. Smoke filled the bridge. "Message not sent," an officer reported. "Communications are down." "How is this possible?" Drek demanded. "These humans should be extinct." "Sir, our shields are failing," another officer called. 3 more of our ships have been disabled." Drek could not believe what was happening. His mighty fleet was losing to a species that should not exist. "Launch all fighter ships," he ordered. "Target their command vessel." Small fighter ships poured out of the Council warships. Hundreds of them flew toward the human fleet. Aaron saw the new threat. "Launch our fighters," she ordered. From the human ships came smaller, faster craft. Each had 1 pilot. These were the best pilots humans had trained. They flew into the swarm of alien fighters. The space around Jupiter filled with explosions as the small ships fought. The human pilots were better. They had trained all their lives for this moment. One by one, they destroyed the Council fighters. Back on Mars base, Susan Clark watched reports from the battle. Things were going well, but she knew this was just the beginning. "Send the message," she told her communications officer. "Tell all hidden human outposts in Council space, the time has come." Throughout the galaxy, in places the Council never suspected, humans had been hiding. Small groups lived on distant planets. They pretended to be other species. They worked on space stations. They lived on trade ships. All of them received the same message. "Phoenix is rising. Activate Phase 2. Across Council space, hidden human agents began their work. Some took control of defense systems. Others disabled communications. Many revealed weapons that had been hidden for centuries. On the Council homeworld, Centauri Prime, the High Council met in emergency session. The room was full of different alien species. All of them were worried. "We have lost contact with Commander Drek's fleet," said one council member. "Something is wrong." "There are reports of system failures across our space," said another. "Defense. Networks are shutting down. Communication grids are failing." The oldest council member, a female with blue skin and white hair, spoke quietly. "We made a mistake 2,000 years ago. We tried to destroy the humans because we feared them. Now they have returned." Back at Jupiter, the battle was ending. The council fleet was defeated. Of the 20 warships, 15 were destroyed. The others could no longer fight. Commander Drek's ship drifted with no power. On the dark bridge, he received a message from the human fleet. Captain Aaron Harris appeared on his screen. "Commander Drek, your fleet is defeated. You will surrender." Now, Drek had no choice. "What do you want?" "We want to speak to your High Council," Aaron said. "We have been waiting 2,000 years to talk, and now they will listen." On Europa base, Greg and Zilthax prepared to leave. They would go with Captain Harris to the Council homeworld. Humans would return to the galaxy that had tried to remove them from history. The truth was now clear to everyone. Humans never stopped existing, they just waited for the right time to return. And that time had come. The great meeting hall on Centauri Prime was silent. 500 members of the Galactic Council sat in curved rows. They represented all the major species in the galaxy. None of them spoke. They were waiting. The main doors opened. 5 humans walked in. Susan Clark led them. Behind her came Captain Aaron Harris, Greg Adams, and 2 others. With them was Archivist Zilthax. The humans wore simple dark blue uniforms. They carried no weapons. They did not need to. Outside the council building, 100 human ships waited in orbit. Throughout council space, human agents held key positions. Susan Clark stood at the center of the room. She looked at the alien faces all around her. For a moment, she thought of all the humans who had died to keep their species alive, who had lived in hiding for 20 centuries, who had passed down the truth from parent to child, waiting for this day. "I am Susan Clark," she said in a clear voice, "leader of the United Human Colonies. We have come to speak with you after 2,000 years of silence." The head counselor, an old alien with pale blue skin, stood up. "How is this possible? Your species was reported extinct, your planet destroyed. Earth was damaged, not destroyed," Susan replied. "And we were hurt, but not killed. We hid. We waited. We remembered." Zilthax stepped forward. "Respected Council, I have found records proving that the old Council ordered the attack on humans. They feared how quickly humans were advancing." Voices rose among the council members, some angry, some afraid. "Is this why you have attacked us?" asked the head counselor. "For revenge?" Susan shook her head. "No. If we wanted revenge, we could have struck without warning. We could have destroyed your worlds as you tried to destroy ours. We did not." "Then what do you want?" asked another council member. "We want to join the galaxy," Susan said. "As equals, not as victims, not as enemies, as partners." The council members looked at each other. This was not what they expected. Greg Adams spoke next. "For 2,000 years we lived in shadows. We built our technology. We spread to other worlds, hiding our true nature. We learned about all of you. Now it is time for you to learn about us." A council member stood up. He had red skin and 4 eyes. "Why should we trust you? Your ships have defeated our best fleet. Your agents have taken control of key systems across our space. This feels like a conquest, not a partnership." Captain Aaron Harris answered him. "We showed our strength because we had to. You would not have listened otherwise. But look at what we have not done. We have hurt no civilians. We have destroyed no worlds. We have killed only those who attacked us first." "The human speaks truth," said Commander Drek, who now stood at the side of the room. He had been brought to testify. "They could have destroyed all my ships. Instead, they disabled most and saved many of my crew." The head counselor spoke again. "What do you propose, humans?" Susan took a small device from her pocket. She placed it on the floor. It projected a large image of the galaxy. Small lights showed human settlements and outposts. "We are already part of this galaxy," she said. "We propose to make it official. We will share our technology. We will help defend against threats. We will trade and learn and grow together." "And if we refuse?" asked a council member. Susan looked at him calmly. "Then we will leave you in peace. We will take our hidden colonies and go beyond your space. But remember, we hid from you for 2,000 years when we were weak. Consider what we might do now that we are strong." The council room was quiet again. The head counselor looked at the other members. Many nodded. "We need time to discuss this," he said finally. "Of course," Susan replied. "We have waited 2,000 years. We can wait a few more days." The humans left the council room. They went to quarters, prepared for them. For 3 days the council debated. Messages flew between worlds. Leaders argued. Some wanted to fight. Most wanted peace. On the 4th day, the humans returned to the council room. The head counselor stood. "We have reached a decision. The Galactic Council accepts your offer of partnership. We will welcome humans as a full member species. We will work to right the wrongs of the past." Susan smiled for the first time since arriving. "We accept." The agreement was signed. News spread across the galaxy. Humans revealed themselves on hundreds of worlds. Ships that had hidden for centuries came into the open. Later that day, Susan stood with Greg, Aaron, and Zilthax on a balcony overlooking the capital city. "Do you think it will work?" Greg asked. "After so long?" Susan watched the sunset over the alien city. "It must work. We did not survive just to start a new war." "Some humans will be angry," Aaron said. "They will want the council to pay for what they did to Earth." "Yes," Susan agreed. "But most will understand. We did not keep our species alive just for revenge. We did it because humans have something to offer the galaxy, our ideas, our art, our way of seeing things." Zilthax spoke softly. "In the archive, there are old stories about humans. They say you were different from other species, more creative, more determined. Now I see it as true." Greg looked at the archivist. "You risked everything to bring us the truth. You will always have a place among humans." Zilthax bowed his head. "I only wanted the truth to be known. The galaxy was told humans never existed, but that was a lie. Now the truth is free." As night fell on Centauri Prime, messages flew across space to Earth. For the first time in 2,000 years, lights appeared on the dark side of the human home world. Small settlements began to grow. Plants were seeded in the healing soil. Humans were coming home. And this time, the whole galaxy would know they existed. In the Galactic Archive, the records were updated. The entry for species 4721, humans, was no longer a small note about extinction. Now it told the true story of survival against all odds, of patience lasting centuries, of a people who refused to disappear. The lie was over. The truth had won.